In the heart of the city, among the tall buildings, shining lights, and rushing crowds, there was a corner most people never noticed. On that corner, night after night, sat a man named Thomas. He had once been like everyone else, a worker, a husband, a father. But life had been cruel. He lost his job, then his home, and soon after even his family turned away. All he had left in this world was an old coat, a tattered blanket, and a dog named Charlie. Charlie had come to him as a stray puppy, thin and trembling, years ago. Thomas had fed him the last piece of bread he had, and from that moment, they became inseparable. The world may have abandoned Thomas, but Charlie never would. Every morning, Thomas sat by the street with Charlie at his feet. Cars rushed by, people hurried past. Some looked at him with pity, others with disgust. A few kind souls dropped coins into his cup. But Thomas did not care about himself. Every coin he received, every piece of food he was given, his first thought was always, Charlie must eat. One evening, a passerby saw Thomas break a small sandwich into 2 pieces. Instead of eating, he gave the bigger piece to Charlie and kept only a crumb for himself. The passerby asked, "Why do you give more to your dog than to yourself?" Thomas smiled faintly and said, "Because he gives me more than I could ever give him. He gives me loyalty, he gives me love. What is my hunger compared to that?" Charlie, as if understanding, wagged his tail and placed his head on Thomas's lap. For him, his master was his whole world. The winters were the hardest. The nights were long, the wind merciless. People hurried home to warm houses and hot meals, but Thomas and Charlie had only each other. On freezing nights, Thomas wrapped his thin blanket around Charlie first. "Stay warm, boy. If you're safe, I can bear the cold," he whispered, his lips trembling. Charlie would press close, sharing his body heat, trying to keep his master alive. Many nights Thomas fought sleep, fearing he might never wake again. But every time he opened his eyes, Charlie was there, watching, guarding, loving. Days turned into months. The bond between the man and the dog grew deeper. Thomas often spoke to Charlie as though speaking to another human. "Do you know, Charlie?" he would say softly. "When the world turned its back on me, you stayed. When I lost everything, you became my everything. You are not just a dog. You are my family, my guardian angel in a fur coat." Charlie would listen, ears perked, eyes full of devotion. To the world, Thomas was a forgotten man. To Charlie, Thomas was the most important person alive. One bitterly cold night, Thomas grew weaker than ever before. Hunger gnawed at him, and his body trembled from the chill. He coughed heavily, holding Charlie close. "Charlie, my boy," he whispered. "I don't know how much longer I can fight, but promise me something. Promise me you will survive even if I cannot. Promise me you'll find kindness, even if this world has none for me." Charlie whimpered, licking his master's hands, refusing to let go. His eyes begged, "Don't leave me. Stay with me." That night, under the open sky, Thomas's breaths grew slower and weaker until finally, they stopped. His tired heart, worn from years of struggle, had given out. Morning came, and the city woke up as usual. But on that corner something had changed forever. Thomas sat no more. Only Charlie remained, curled beside the still body of the man he loved. Passers-by stopped. Some took pictures, others shook their heads sadly. But Charlie didn't move. He licked his master's face, nudged his hands, hoping to wake him, but Thomas would never wake again. When the authorities arrived, they carried Thomas's body away. But Charlie followed, barking, crying, refusing to be separated. At the funeral home, he lay by the door waiting. At the burial, he walked silently behind the coffin, his head lowered. And when the grave was covered, Charlie lay down upon it, refusing to leave. Days passed. Rain fell, snow covered the ground, yet Charlie stayed. Villagers and city folk tried to feed him, tried to take him away, but every time he was let off, he escaped and returned to the grave. His loyalty was stronger than hunger, stronger than pain, stronger than death itself. Finally, one cold morning, people found Charlie lying still on the grave, his eyes closed peacefully. He had gone to join the man he loved, in a place where hunger and cold could no longer touch them. Word of their story spread far and wide. Newspapers wrote about the loyal dog of the streets. Travelers came to see the grave where man and dog rested together. Some said it was a tragedy. Others said it was the most beautiful proof of love they had ever seen. And so, the story of Thomas and Charlie lived on. It reminded the world that true loyalty does not come from wealth, power, or comfort. It comes from